Hello, welcome to the Voice Den. So good to have you all here. This is session number 11. Happy spring, everybody. This is great. Glad to see so many people already here, checked in. Fantastic. We have an amazing event for you today. As usual, we've got to start off by welcoming anybody that is new in the Voice Den. So if you are new, please put your name down in the chat. Tell us where you are from. My name is Teri Fisher. I am in Vancouver, BC, Canada. We must have some other Canadians here in the den. So put in your name, tell us where you're from, and if you want to be really daring, then tell us what you're drinking as well, because we want to know that. That's a Voice Den tradition. All right. The other thing you'll find is there is a poll. This is the typical poll that we do at the beginning. We want to see who are the Voice Den rookies. If you are a rookie, then, or if you're not a rookie for that matter, anybody, you're welcome to enter the poll. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen, and we want to see. So far, the veterans of the Voice Den are winning. Let's have a look here. So we've got, good to see Brooke here. We're going to see Brooke up on stage here in just a moment. Michael Novak is here. Ray is here. Audrey, Gina, Robin, Sam, Emerson. Good to see old friends. Good to see new friends here in the den. Absolutely wonderful. And Greg says, I'm drinking something non-alcoholic. Loose sanctions. Particularly because Greg's going to be up here on stage just momentarily. All right, Greg playing it safe today. Good for you, Greg. All right. Well, before we get the Voicefluencers up on stage here, I do want to give a quick shout out to a couple of incredible sponsors that make this show possible. So number one, Amazon Alexa. Thank you. I hope everybody's devices are muted. Otherwise, you're going to have a long hour. Amazon Alexa, thank you so much for being a headliner sponsor. It is fantastic, as always, to have your support. And the headliner sponsors, both of them, have sweetened the pot a little bit today. So let me tell you about this. What they are doing is they are doing some giveaways for the Voice Den participants. And so let me tell you a little bit about Amazon's. Amazon is giving away one of the brand new Echo Show 10s, the one that swivel, you know that one. So here's the deal for this one. This one is going to be a random door prize to somebody here, and I'm going to announce that at the end of this session. So somebody here is going to be walking away with, well, virtually walking away with the Amazon Echo Show, which will be delivered to your door at some point in the near future. And I also want to just to let you know that Amazon has a special event tomorrow, part of their Alexa Tech Talks event. Build interactive visuals with Alexa presentation language. And this is with the one, the only Greg Bulmash, who we're going to have here up on stage in just a moment. It's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. And you can watch Greg demonstrate how Alexa custom skills become more engaging with interactive visuals. And what I want to do is I'm just going to slip in the chat here right now for you. Let's do that. Click on that link, and that's where you can go to find out all of the information about that particular event. So thank you to Amazon. As well, very fortunate to have Google as well, a headliner sponsor. So fortunate to have both these incredible companies, Amazon and Google. So Google, thank you for your participation and your sponsorship of the Voice Stand as well. As you may know, Google has a series of talks that they do, Voice Talks. This month's episode is also happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. So you're going to have to book off a 2-hour time slot there to cover the Amazon and the Google events, focusing on mobile and app actions. So you can tune in, hear about the conversation, how voice has migrated into mobile use cases, and also initiatives supporting women within the industry. So I want to drop a link for that as well. This is actually their LinkedIn event for that. So definitely check that out. And here's another giveaway. You ready for this one? This one you got to pay attention to. Courtesy of Google, they are going to give a Google Assistant product away. Here's what you got to do to win this one. You have to tweet. You want to share how you are using voice or app actions on your mobile device with these hashtags, Voice Talks and the Voice Stand. And this is pretty cool. They are going to announce the winner of this giveaway on Voice Talks tomorrow, and it's only going to be only those that are here that know about this giveaway are going to be eligible for that particular giveaway that they're going to announce tomorrow on Voice Talks. So thank you to Google, thank you to Amazon, and as well thank you to our partners Attention Live for creating the NFTs and some of the media around this event, and to Audio Brain for doing all of the sonic branding that you are hearing. So wonderful. Okay, so a couple of giveaways there. Sweeten the pot, really excited about that. Now, we've got to get to some introductions. So let's move right along. We have a tremendous lineup of voicefluencers today for the Voice Stand. First off, we have Greg Bulmash, the announcer. He is a solutions architect with Amazon Alexa Developer Education. He started with Amazon in 1998, putting his degree in creative writing to work as a senior editor for IMDb. Then he left in the aughts to reinvent himself as a software developer. Along the way, he made stops at Microsoft, Avalara, and AWS, and now he helps to teach other developers how to create Alexa skills. So Greg, it's great to have you here. We're going to have you up here in just a moment. Next, we have the startup Legolator. That's a question. That's a nickname we're going to have to ask you about, Rana. Rana is the CEO for Behavioral Signals, an enterprise software company that unravels behavioral signals from speech data. He's been recognized as a top 40 voice AI influencer to follow by SoundHound, Entrepreneur of the Month by CIO Magazine, awarded US-China Pioneer by IEIE, listed as a top 10 entrepreneur to follow by Huffington Post, and an AI entrepreneur to watch in Inc. magazine. In 2020, he won Contributor of the Year in Hacker Noon's Noonies Awards. Whew, not bad, Rana. Yeah, not bad. That's all right. Good job. All right, next up, we have Brooke. Brooke, the philosopher. Brooke is a designer in the world of conversational interfaces. Her experience in the industry is vast, having designed voice experiences for healthcare institutions, nonprofits, Fortune 500 companies, and startups. Brooke has spoken at the IA Summit, Voice Summit, Project Voice, as well as a variety of industry podcasts like Machine Yearning, VoiceFirst.fm, and more. Brooke also is committed to training and educating new designers and co-authored the Career Foundry course Intro to VUI Design, VUI Design. Brooke, it's wonderful to have you here as well. All right, next we have Anna MacKenzie, the architect. And she is the solutions engineer at VoiceFlow. And if you're not familiar with VoiceFlow, it is an easy way to design, prototype and launch conversation designs, whether it's to Alexa, Google, or any custom assistant. When she's not working, she enjoys sharing her passion for development as a JavaScript mentor at Juno and at Canada Learning Code. Well, there's another Canadian right there. All right, Anna, good to have you here as well. And then finally, last but certainly not least, Jeremiah Owyang, Trendspotter. What a good name. Jeremiah connects companies to their customers using new technologies. He's a serial founder, business speaker, research analyst. And on a personal note, I've met Jeremiah just recently through Clubhouse, where he is speaking all about social audio. He is one of the foremost experts on what is going on right now in the audio space, particularly social audio. And if you haven't seen his Twitter feed, by the way, you got to check it out because he's got some incredible articles that he's written about where he sees the future of social audio. So it's really, really, really valuable stuff. Okay, so with that being said, we've got to bring up our voicefluencers. So you are all going to get invitations to come up on screen now, and we're going to get a chance to hear from you all, and then we're going to get to our questions. So bear with me for 2 seconds here while I bring everyone up here. Now, if you're not familiar with this, while I'm doing this, the way our system works here is you'll see that there's a place to ask questions at the bottom. So I encourage you to, if you want to ask a question of one of our voicefluencers, you can start filling out that ask a question button, or the button. And once you do that, we or you, the rest of the audience, will have an opportunity to vote on your favorite questions, and we will be able to bring you up based on what questions you all want answered. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so let me, we've got just about everybody up here. Let's get, my typing, I gotta help if I spell names right. Okay, there we go. I think we've invited everybody up, and here we are. So why don't we just we're waiting for Jeremiah. He should be coming up here in just any second here. But why don't we get started here? We'll start with, we'll just go in order on the screen here. So Greg, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. And thanks for talking about my tech talk tomorrow morning.
My pleasure. Everybody should join you. It'll be a fun time. So here's what I'm going to ask you all. I want to ask you about either your nickname on your card or your interesting fact. So Greg, you're the announcer, and you've got an interesting fact, something about the dating game. You want to share? What's that all about?
1987, I was going to college in LA, and a buddy of mine had been on the dating game with his little brother competing against him. And wow. I'm like, hey, that sounds like fun. I'll go down and audition. And I ended up getting on the show, and I was bachelor number 3, and I won a trip to Florida with the Bachelorette.
Really? Wow. Okay, so how did it turn out?
Obviously, I'm married to somebody entirely different, so.
All right. Well, chalk that one up to experience, huh? All right. Good stuff. Well, Greg, thanks for being here. Really excited to have people chat with you and learn all about what you're doing and what Alexa's doing and all that kind of stuff. So thanks so much. Anna, welcome. Good to see you.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. All right, Anna. So tell us a little about either your nickname or the crazy fact you've got. What is the crazy fact? Oh yeah, I remember what it is now. Your dog or your nickname. You choose. What do you want to share?
I'll talk about my dog. I rescued a foxhound from Texas. He's about 70 pounds. He's a really big guy, but he's also a big baby, but he doesn't really know that he's that big. So it's definitely been a journey with him.
How old is he now?
4.
4. Okay. I'm a relatively new dog owner. I never, ever thought I'd own a dog, and I caved to my family, and I'm very happy I did. So I can appreciate that. And it's great to have you here and representing VoiceFlow. I'm a big fan of VoiceFlow. So thanks so much for being here. Brooke, we'd love to hear from you, the philosopher, and tell us about the band you used to play in. Actually, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, when I lived in Chicago, I played drums in a little punk band for a while, and I haven't played drums in a few years. Now I'm sequestered in an apartment and try to make as little noise as possible, but I did used to make a lot of noise.
Awesome. I don't know if you know, I'm a drummer as well, so I
think we've talked about this.
Appreciate that. That's awesome. Love it. Well, Brooke, as well. Thanks for being here. We're really excited to get your take on these questions and stuff. Rana, I gotta ask you about your nickname. the startup Legolator. What's the deal?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think it just stuck. So I've been part of some, I'd say, interesting and the least to say journeys with some amazing startups, and some of them have involved turnarounds. And so I recall a couple of years ago, one of our investors, part of a private equity firm, over the drink, sort of like say, you're a Legolator. You're putting these things together, and you're creating value, and you're oftentimes fixing things, but not things. They're actually companies. And so I think I kind of so stuck. It sort of followed me since. So when you asked me, I think that's what came to my mind. It's like, yeah, I agree. I'll commit to that.
I like it. That's a good name. I like it. Legolator. And I see you also, what was it? You coach competitive mountain biking teams. That's pretty cool too. That must keep you busy. And
it does.
Hopefully not too injured.
There are two types of cyclists. One that have crashed, and then the other that they will. So yeah, it's part of the game.
It comes with the territory, I suppose. Huh? All right.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Rana. We've had a chance to chat a number of times now, and I appreciate you being here as well.
Thank you.
So,
thanks very
much. And Jeremiah, a relatively new acquaintance. We met on Clubhouse. You're doing amazing stuff, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And where are you right now located?
I'm in my backyard. This is the tiny Airstream Studios in my backyard.
Awesome. And that's where you work, right? Is that correct?
I do. 19 steps from the house.
Wow. So what else do you have in the Airstream?
Well, I got a full studio setup. I've got lights around me. I've got a lavalier mic. I've got a 4K camera that I'm looking at you right now. And this is my little quiet workspace that I've had for a number of years. Coincidentally, it's very popular during the pandemic. Who would have known? And I actually got some press and media about this during the pandemic around the future of work in people's backyards.
You're way, as usual, right? You're ahead of the trend. The Trendspotter. You're ahead.
Just got lucky.
You've got a name for that. Well, that's awesome. So anyway, we got a fantastic group of voicefluencers here. Thank you all. What we're going to do now is I'm going to dip into the question bank, which you all can see actually at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to pick on these questions. So I encourage everybody here to vote on your favorite questions, ones that you want to get answered. And then we are going to bring people up on screen to answer those questions with a couple of you voicefluencers at a time. So, all right. So I think let's go with this first one from Roger. What's something emerging? So I think we should definitely get Jeremiah's take on that. Yeah. And as well, we're going to, I think we'll keep, who's going to do this one? Rana, do you want to stay up as well for this one, for emerging things that you're seeing? And I'm going to say goodbye to the other three of you. We're going to get you back up very shortly. All right. Okay. So let me invite you up, Roger. Oh, we lost, there we go. We had a little technical glitch there. No problem. We're inviting Roger back up, and I need to bring back up. Here we go. Rana, sorry, we lost our speakers there for a second. No worries. Here we go. Okay. So they're going to be coming back up on the screen here. And then Roger, we're going to allow you to answer or ask your questions. So there is Roger Kibbe, a previous Voicefluencer, and pleasure to see you again, Roger. And oh, we keep losing some of our Voicefluencers. All right. We keep losing everybody. All right. Let's try this one more time. Little glitches. No problem. We can work around this. So, let's invite people up again. All right. So we got Roger. Let's get Rana. And let's get Jeremiah. Okay. Can you hear me, Rana? Let's make sure we got this going. Yep. And Jeremiah, can you hear me as well?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, good. We're just see if Roger's coming back up here. We keep losing everybody. This is going to be a long hour if that's the case. More NFTs, they seem to solve everything. That is very, very true. Okay, here's what we're going to try. We're going to try bringing up 2 people at a time then. Unfortunately, it may be something to do with the 4 for some reason today. We've never had this issue before, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. We will make it work. So let's go with, keeps dropping you guys, unfortunately. All right. We may have to bring up 1 at a time.
Category that's starting to emerge, and there's numerous startups that are right now they're measuring the most basic attributes, which is time and attention. But as they start to really unwind sentiment and looking at mood, which is obviously an Amazon cloud services feature, as well as natural language processing, we'll see more advanced capabilities in analytics. Already, Twitter Spaces has voice-to-text real-time English translation, like a 1-2 second delay, and that is a powerful tool for international integration. So once that is determined, I think the interesting thing we'll see is that we can start to understand how do conversations spread in real time from room to room and find out who the real influencers are. And I think if we have enough data analysis to determine what is said and what are the patterns of conversations, some of those bigger AI companies and cloud services companies can actually predict the conversation that's going to happen tomorrow. So that is what I'm watching for.
Very interesting. That's great. That's great. Rana?
Yeah, I think first off, I feel, the human to machine interaction dynamic is seriously underrated at this point. It had seen a lot of excitement in the marketplace and in the innovation spectrum in the entrepreneurial community, but it's sort of like plateaued. And there's a reason for that, right? Because the promise of us actually having conversations with a machine hasn't quite come to a reality, because you've sort of solved for some of the pieces. You've solved for the NLP and NLU side of things, but you haven't solved for understanding the cognitive state of mind side of things. And that's where sort of like the emotion AI and the behavioral AI dynamics of really understanding the frame of mind. Are you saying, are you meaning what you're saying, and actually how do you actually feel? And those are the essential dynamics of actually holding a conversation. And so those things are now coming together, right? So, the building blocks are in place. The building blocks of NLP, NLU have been in place for quite some time now, and they're relatively very mature and for the most part commoditized. But now that you have this other piece that allows you, or the machine side of the human to machine side interaction, to have the understanding of how the human's feeling and how should I gauge my response based on whether the human actually means this or not. Is there a sense of sarcasm here? Is this negativity or positivity or engagement or disengagement or lack of empathy or empathy? Then you have these brilliant engaging experience that are going to come to fruition, where you can actually talk to a kiosk, maybe at McDonald's, where you're putting in your order, but it actually not only understands what you're saying, but understands how you feel and can make recommendations based on that. You could have a virtualized help desk or a welcome desk at an airport that guides you to where you need to go, but also calms you down and tells you, hey, relax, you sound a little stressed. It's only 4 or 5 minutes away and you got an hour to your next connection. So stuff like that. I can speak multiple languages, understand multiple dialects, and you'd have like amazing set of experiences come out. So I think this decade, the next, at least, I'd say not even the decade, the next 5 years is to watch out for human to machine interactions really sort of leaping out in a big way.
Awesome. Do you have anything else to add to that, Jeremiah? Or?
Yeah, so we're already seeing AI systems to determine health and how people are, how do they sound. It could be to detecting Alzheimer's or even potentially coughing and determining, gosh, could somebody actually have COVID? So those are some things. You can actually detect people's sleeping patterns by having an active mic on certain apps. So there's a tremendous amount of information that can be gleaned from that. The mood data is also very interesting too. We might be able to set up dynamic rooms in Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces based upon your mood. So if you really want to chill out, then we might have a chill out room, and we know that from your voice and the context around that. So lots of exciting things can happen.
Awesome, great. You guys beat the buzzer as well. All right, so fantastic. That was a really good discussion. Thanks for that great question. Wonderful and great answers, guys. Appreciate that one very much. All right, awesome. Excuse me. Okay, the next one. This is a fun one. We got to keep voting on these questions, folks, so we can get up the people that are having the most sort of intriguing questions. We're going to invite Mike Novak up for this one. This is a fun one. We're going to get Greg up, and I'm also going to bring Anna up because she may have a story as a developer of something that was fun when she was a kid too. We're going to get Greg's stories. So here we go. Let's invite Mike up. We're going to see you gentlemen later. All right, and people. Okay. And let's bring up Greg and Anna. Hello there, Mike.
Hello, how are you tonight?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
So Jeremiah, I just got to say, I love your Zoom background.
Thanks. I downloaded it this afternoon.
Me too.
Funny. All right. So let's get, we're going to get Anna up here. Okay. And here we are, Mike. So you know the drill. You've been here before. You're no longer first-time caller, long-time listener and long-time caller, I'm afraid.
Darn.
But fire away. Ask your question.
So thank you very much for inviting me here tonight. I would love to. Anyway, so my question is this for both of you. I was looking at Greg's profile, and he'd mentioned that you had worked with kids. So it got me thinking about when you've been working with adolescents or young children, what's your best story, and have any of them translated to the jobs that you currently have?
So, honestly, I think the best overall story is not about a specific kid who did something. I'm, got a bunch going through my mind, but I'll go through the one that first occurred to me is that, we started teaching Scratch, which is MIT's drag and drop IDE for kids, right? And so I felt that Scratch was very limited, although it was great for kids to get started. Yep. And then we saw the kids doing hacks that we never expected. They were figuring out ways to do stuff we didn't think was possible. And that translates totally to my job now. Because awesome. Developers are just always surprising me, always coming up with really interesting ideas that go well beyond what my imagination is able to come up with.
Sure.
Amazing. And Anna, maybe just to put this in context, are there stories that you can share about really interesting things that you've come across in your work or even in your past, the stuff that you've worked on, something that would be kind of a really neat experience that you're able to share, or some ideas?
Yeah, I think one of the most compelling stories that is sort of loosely related to, I guess, kid coding, that is also related to voice is we had one of our VoiceFlow customers build an Alexa skill that taught his kid about diabetes because he was recently diagnosed with diabetes. And so it was a very fun medium for this child to learn about his new life and what he could do and what he couldn't do. And so it's a perfect example of what I was talking about before, where sometimes voice is a superior experience to anything else. And so it's not always about replicating what we currently have with voice or conversational AI. It's about revolutionizing it. And it's about thinking outside the box and figuring out those use cases that don't exist yet, where voice is just a perfect solution.
Sure.
And that's a really cool use case. I really like that story, Anna. That's very, very interesting. I'll have to chat with you more about that offline. Greg, anything else to add about that?
So this was the conflicting story in my head. We've had a couple of kids who came to Seattle Coder Dojo. They just sort of blossomed while they were there because their parents didn't get them. Their friends didn't get them. They were super techie. They just ate up computers and tech. And we were able to provide this sort of environment where they could find kindred spirits, where they could find adults and other kids who understood them, and they could flourish and develop, all sorts of skills. And I think that also, in my work in technical evangelism, building those communities, providing those spaces for people who just really love to geek out on something to come together on it has been a professional joy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And have you found any of those lessons that you've been able to translate into like other events you've attended or talked at?
Yeah, I mean, when you got to keep the attention of a room full of kids, you learn pretty quickly.
I was thinking the adults. I mean, when you go talk to
that's
people
why Rex appears in many of my tech talks.
For the record, I asked Greg if Rex was going to be making an appearance here on the Voice Den, and so well, now he has. Awesome. Well, great. Hey, thanks so much, Michael. Really appreciate the question as always.
Sure.
Thank
Thanks
you to both of you.
Great.
Thank you to them. I think we're gonna have time for one more question because then I've got a couple of announcements before the end of the hour. And I'm gonna invite Rahul up to ask his question sort of on the discoverability issue. So we'll make some shifts here to the stage. But before I do that, Greg, before I let you go, I want to just ask you to give me a random number between 1 and 103, because I'm going to have to go in my list and we're going to have to give away an Echo Show 10 before the episode's over. So
62. 62?
Okay, I'm going to write that down and then I'm going to check my list. We're going to see who's number 62. Okay, amazing. All right, so I'm inviting Rahul up. Let's keep Anna here on screen and let's bring up the questions about discoverability. So let's keep Anna, and maybe we'll get Brooke up here again. All right. So thank you, Greg. We're going to see you in a bit. Re-invite and Brooke. Okay. Let me just find you in the list here, Brooke. There you are. Okay, good. Okay, it looks like Rahul is not able to come up on screen, but that is no problem. We're going to ask this final question. I'll do it on his behalf. And here we go. The question is, currently all the major voice-first platforms are struggling to solve the discoverability issue. Who do you think is headed in the right direction? Do one of you want to take a stab at that first? Your thoughts, opinions on that? Anna, do you want to go for that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I certainly think everyone knows it's an issue across the board in terms of the industry. But I also don't think it's any different than previous channels in terms of discoverability when people were first coming out with, new apps on the iPhone and all of that kind of stuff. I think there's definitely an architecture to be able to solve that problem with voice. I also think that Amazon and Google probably have it solved and they just haven't turned it on yet. I think they've been working on it for a number of years. They know it's an issue. They probably have the capabilities to solve it, but they're just working through all the kinks and all the bugs. But similar to the way that SEO works, I think there's going to be some sort of solution like that when it comes to connecting folks to what they're searching for, and which skill or action is the best solution for that.
Awesome. Brooke, thoughts?
Yep, I would echo everything Anna just said. Before I was working on My Planet, I actually worked for an advertising agency, and yeah, the big companies know this is a problem and are definitely working on it and are piloting cool things all the time that maybe we as a general public don't see, but are definitely happening. And what we used to tell our clients at the marketing agency was, if you're not first, you're last, and kind of in prediction of this SEO future when it comes to voice. So there are so many examples of brands that waited a long time to get on Amazon Marketplace, and now arguably it's the main place people shop. And without all that time being on the platform to gather reviews and clicks and be a top ranked product, that puts your product behind. So I would say for any brands listening out there, now is definitely the time to create a skill and get people familiar with your brand via voice, because once that is turned on, you want to be first, not last.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be that first mover advantage. So you definitely want to be on the front end of the tidal wave that's about to start.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Well, okay. Anything else to add to that? I don't want to cut this off too early. Any other comments or no? All right. Wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to stop that. Another buzzer beater. That was pretty good. I think the buzzer only went off once today. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question as well, Ruhul. All right. So I want to get to a couple of announcements. I want to thank you, Anna and Brooke, for being on the screen here. I'm going to say goodbye to you for now, and a couple of announcements here. So, all right. First of all, I have seen in the chat, people were wondering about how they can win the prizes again. So let me just share that with you again. The Amazon Echo Show 10 giveaway. By any chance, is there somebody by the name of John Stein online? John Stein, if you're in the chat, do you want to just say something there? Hello, John. If you're still online, I know you were here at one point. I saw you. Hopefully you're still here. Must be present to win. Come on. Come on. Come on, John. Uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, I'm going to change. I'm going to give it to John because I know John was here. He was online. So, John, yes, congrats, John. Amazing. Courtesy of Amazon, you get the Echo Show 10. So, way to go, John. I know he was here before, Janice. That's why I'd hate to not give it to him because he had to go. So, John is, I'm assuming that John, I know he was here. So John, you get the Echo Show 10. So congrats. I'm really happy for you. So you can thank Greg. Greg picked number 62 and you're 62 on my list. So there you go. You get it. All right. So that's for John. Here's a quick reminder of the Google contest. So some of you are asking about this. Share how you are using voice or app actions on your mobile device with the hashtag voice talks and the voice den. Okay. And I've got some other giveaways, the NFTs. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to the next episode and the Voicefluencers for the next episode. This is a little bit different. So normally, as you know, we've had 5 Voicefluencers on the show, and it's been that way for, well, almost a year. We're coming up to episode 12. So 12, obviously, that's the 12th episode, the 12th month. It is basically, I'm treating this as the season finale of the Voice Den. Yes, it's going to continue on after that, of course, but we are going to have a special episode next month for the season finale. So normally we have 5 people. We don't have 5 people for the 12th one. And I will show you the video, which has a little bit of an introduction. At least one of these people is a human. And that means at least one of them is not. And what we are going to do is you're going to have a look. And also, as you'll see, there's something else very special happening after the Voice Den. So let me play the little intro video, and I'll be back with the NFT winners right after this. All right, let's do this. All right, so I am super excited about that. We have, yes, we are going to have GPT-3 as one of the guests on the Voice Den, and we are all going to get a chance to ask GPT-3 questions that you would like to ask. So super, super excited about that. And as well as you saw, there's a mystery guest, which I'm not going to reveal just yet. And there is actually a brand new experience that is going to be happening directly after the Voice Den. As you know, for now, we're doing these after parties in Clubhouse. So I encourage you to join us. And in fact, I will put the link to the Clubhouse room right now in the chat. This is going to be immediately after this. And I'm going to bring up this the button if you would like to save your spot for this season finale for the Voice Den session 12. I want to take a moment again to thank every single one of our Voicefluencers who made this show possible. Greg, Rana, Brooke, Anna, Jeremiah, thank you so much. Without you, this wouldn't exist. And I want to thank our sponsors, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, our partners, Attention Live and Audio Brain. And I want to thank all of you for being part of this. I hope you had a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to session 12 as well, because it's going to be a little bit unique. So I can't wait to see you all there. And I am going to sign off with the credits, and then I will see you all over on Clubhouse. All right. Have a great, great evening, everyone. Talk soon.